Welcome back to the country, my friends. So this is going to be a long video and a couple of months probably to get this video put together, so we're just going to start it. Today is August 1st of 2019, and I'm going to explain to you what kind of problems I've had over the past 8 months or so. Alright, so I bought this 243 Savage 110 action, and I have a couple of 110s and Model 10 actions that I have built into long-range precision rifles for myself. That's what I build these for myself, just for punching steel, punching paper, things like that. But whenever I got this Model 10 action here in 243, I wanted it to be a dual purpose. I wanted it to be for punching steel and just going out and playing around for cheaper than what it would say cost to shoot my 7 mag every time I went out. I wanted something that was a lot cheaper to shoot, and that's where this Model 10 was going to come into play. So I have Excalibur barrels, I have ER Shaw barrels, I've tried different type barrels. There's quite a few barrels I've tried, but I didn't want to wait for one to be built, and that may have been my fault, my mistake. Is I wanted one now so that I could get to shooting whenever I bought this. So I bought a barrel in December of 2018 from Shilen. It was actually on Midway USA's website. It was a 26-inch 1 1/8 twist 243 heavy varmint barrel. And the 1 1/8 twist was going to be perfect because I wanted to shoot 105 grain Berger VLD hunting bullets, which they're match hunters, so they're good for match shooting or paper punching, and they would be good for if I wanted to go coyote hunting or maybe even deer hunting with 105. So I wanted to have options as far as the bullet weight that I was going to shoot. I wanted to shoot the upper end of the scale, the higher BC bullets at further distances is what the real thing was here, because taking my 7 mag out, it's a heavy rifle. It's the barrel that's on it is 1 inch at the muzzle, and we got very little taper all the way back, so it's a very heavy rifle. It don't recoil, but and the scope that's on it is an IOR Valdata 6-24. They're a heavy beast of an optic. They're about that long, and they're a 35mm tube. They're main tube, and they got a 50 or a 60-inch objective. I thought it was 56. I think 60 millimeter objective on them. So it's a heavy rifle altogether. So this 243 was going to be my, more or less, if I wanted to go deer hunting with it, coyote hunting with it, not as heavy, but heavy enough to not have barrel heat problems, things like that. So let's get into the problem I have. I sent the barrel back to Shilen today, August 1st. So this will be the first part of it. Whenever I get it back from them, or whatever they tell me about the barrel, will be what this video is entitled or about. Will be what my experience is with Shilen on this problem. Now let's tell a little backstory here. So the Shilen barrel I bought, I got it, come in, looked fantastic, ready to go. Crown looked good, chambering looked good, everything looked good on it. It looked smooth, the barrel, the rifling looked good. I couldn't tell anything by visually inspecting it from the outside, anything wrong with it. And there may not be anything wrong with it. It just may be a fluke of nature. I don't know. So I took this rifle here apart, and I mounted the barrel. I put it in a Choate stock, which I have now put it back in its original form so I can still shoot it while that barrel's gone. So I have no idea how long it's going to be until it gets back. And this is a 243 barrel as well. That's what came on it. It's just a little 22-inch barrel, but it's a really light profile, and it's a 1 9 1/4 twist, so that pretty much kills anything for over 100 grain bullet. So I've done the barrel break-in process with that new barrel. I done 1 to 20 rounds cleaning between each round. That's just the way I do things. Then every second shot after that, from up to 40 rounds, I clean every 2 shots. Then when I get there, I'll do 3-round groups, cleaning between 3-round groups, and that's usually until I can start doing some load development at that point with 3-round groups. When I get to 60 rounds, starting the load development that way, then I can go to 5-round groups, and I can just shoot it from there and clean every now and then. I don't have to clean near as much once I get that initial break-in process. So I start my load development in 3-round groups out front once I get through that first initial 40 rounds. So 2 boxes of ammo, a day at the range, taking your time between shots, other rifles to shoot, other pistols to shoot, things like that. You can pretty much get through a break-in process, at least my break-in process. And then I can start trying to make hand loads. Now, for that next 20 rounds of hand loads, which is 3-round groups, I'm basically just trying to get my velocities down, get everything sighted in to where I'm getting a pattern, and just try to see what kind of standard deviations I got like that. So once I get done to get that 3-round group, now I'm up to 5-round groups at that point. So that's whenever I start doing I do a saddling overall charge weight comparison, which is when you start at the lower end of the scale and you work in 0.2 grain increments all the way through the scale of where you want to be, something like that. So that's what I started doing after I started doing my initial 3-round groups, because I had to get 60 rounds through the barrel before I'd start actually doing any kind of development, because that just gets the barrel seasoned and any kind of burrs or anything knocked off and cleaning them out. So I don't test accuracy in that first 60 rounds at all, because you're cleaning between each shot. I mean, I basically get a rough 0, so I know where my bullets are going, but I don't try to put down groups or anything like that. I just test velocity during all that, just kind of see what I can do with that. So my barrel break-in process with that gun was 95 grain SMKs in just regular, I think it was Remington brass that I got a bag of, and loaded to the book overall length, just a standard out of the box load. Now, like I said, didn't test accuracy during that point, but I had a piece of paper up there, and they were grouping about like this. That's terrible. That's like, I mean, the actual shots that I were having was probably about a 6-inch group in this cleaning up process. That's to be expected, because I'm not really taking my time really aiming with the thing. I'm just trying to get the break-in process, because I know I'm going to have to clean and all that in between. So I'm just trying to get rounds down the barrel to get it cleaned up. So jump ahead a little bit. So I got them 60 rounds through it, so I go into my Satterling load development, or the optimal overall charge weight development. I go into that. I start with H4350. That's a tried and true bullet and powder combo for 243. Is H4350 behind your 95 to 105 grain bullet. And I'm wanting to shoot 105, so all the rest of the testing from there on was done with 105 grain Berger VLD Hunters, VLD Match Hunters. Alright, so I done my Satterling load development, and I went all the way through the H4350. After shooting that, I found 3 nodes to shoot from that had very little change in velocity. Is what you're looking for there. So I found very little change in velocity at 3 points. So I loaded 5 rounds at 3 points each way to figure out exactly where I needed to be. And I believe I landed on 41 grains is where I landed on as having the tightest standard deviation as far as that goes. So all the rest of the testing done here was with 41 grains of H4350. Now I try to do my land test. I run all the way out till I touch the lands, and then I back off in 20 thousandths increments, 10 to 20 thousand increments. So I started at what Berger suggests, which is a 40,000 increment jump. So I went all the way to the lands where it's touching the lands, where they want you to go into the lands. So I went into the lands, then I backed off the lands, then I backed off the lands, then off the lands, and done a test like that all the way up till it was 80 thousandths off the lands jump, which is a long jump. Nothing grouped. Nothing. We're talking the tightest group I got was right at an inch. That's not good for a 243. So being frustrated, I said, okay, maybe it's a powder problem. So I stopped doing H33 4350 and I went to IMR 4350. They're basically the same powder, but there's a few minor differences. Sometimes there's like a 0.2 or 3 grain increment difference in the max charge in the book. So we did it again. We went through all of that again. The overall weight charge, the overall charge weight test, and the lands test. Now we found when we did this that the lands test, it preferred a overall seating depth that would give it about a 40 thousandths jump to the lands. Okay, so now we don't have to do that no more. We know what our jump to the lands should be. So now we can do away with that overall jump to the lands test now and just test the bullets. Now we did shoot, I think, a 790 one time out of that barrel, and that was fluke, I guess, because I thought I had found the load that would eventually break into a good shooter. Didn't happen. So I went to the range again with that load, expecting for things to try to, I took 20 rounds up there of that load, and I took my time and shot each group, and the best group that day was 1.5 inches. They were huge, and I had my standard deviation check. That was tight enough. The land jump was tight, and it was exactly accurate because I checked each one of them. So I came home thinking I may have screwed something up. I checked my powder again, recalibrated, pulled one of the bullets, dumped my powder, checked it. Everything was right. So I expect some kind of changes in temperature. When temperature changes, I expect some kind of a change in you're trying to find with that overall charge weight, you're trying to find a charge that is very temperature resilient, that can fluctuate a little bit in speed and not be a problem. So you shouldn't run into this that much. Now granted, whenever I made the initial loads, it was 36 degrees outside, and it was 90 degrees that day. That is a big swing. So this is not something that I take lightly as like, oh, it's just the load. No, it was something that really was a problem. So I come home and I said, I'm going to throw the book at this thing. I loaded I skipped the overall charge weight altogether, and I loaded H1000, 7828, 4064, IMR 4350, H4350, and I'll think of it in a second, H4831. Okay, and I loaded test groups through that. We're going to the range with ammo, a lot of ammo, and I took lunch. I took lunch to the range for this, and I went up there and I spent the better part of about 6 hours shooting these rounds, letting the barrel cool, shooting them, trying to get a group. And I'll post pictures of the groups, of the best groups. They was on the same page, and they were with H4350, but as you can see, those groups still suck. So I come home livid. I'm pretty mad. And everybody has a bad day at the range, but this has been over since December till August, actually the end of July, that this is all. So I came home and I stripped the gun apart. I took the barrel off. I took the bolt, I took the stock off. I took the scope off. I took the scope base off. I stripped it down to nothing. Then I reassembled it meticulously. I'm talking setting my headspace even to the nth degree of taking just Scotch tape on the go gauge instead of using the go and no go gauge. Just using the go gauge to set it, and then using Scotch tape on the back of it to try to see if I could get it a little bit closer to headspace maybe. I don't know. Then I checked it with the no-go, of course. Then I mounted everything up. I torqued my action screws. I torqued them properly. I set the recoil lug whenever I set the front. I went through everything I could think of to try to make this rifle work. Then I loaded H4350 again. Went back to the range. I loaded 2 groups on each side of that charge weight of where it was shooting good before. Went back up to the range, shot it. It was terrible. I mean, the groups were horrible. So I called Shilen. I called Shilen yesterday and I explained to them what all I've done. And they said, it sounds like you've done everything you can do on your end. Send the barrel back to us. We'll inspect it and we'll get back to you. All right, so this morning I boxed it up, sent it off to Shilen. Supposed to be there Saturday, so they probably won't receive it till Monday, which will be the 5th, I believe. And then I don't know how long it's going to take after that. So if y'all stay posted, when that barrel comes back to me, we're going to either, if they want to fix it, we're going to see what they're going to do about it. See if they find anything wrong with it and see if it's my end or their end. Or if they just blow me off and say you've shot too many rounds through it, we can't do nothing for you, you got to buy a new barrel, we're going to send this one back. That's what I'm afraid was going to happen. But either way, I'm going to let y'all know exactly how it turns out and what the process is whenever I get it back. I also ordered some different bullets. I ordered some Nosler RDF 105 grains. They're a little bit different in length and the BC's a little higher. So I have a sample size of a couple of different bullets. Now during this, before you even say it, I did shoot some 95 grain SMKs and got some of the better groups of the barrel. Better groups as in 5/8, 3/4, somewhere there. I think the tightest group was around 5/8. It was like 680 or something like that, which I don't want to shoot 95 grain bullets. If I want to shoot 95 grain bullets, this factory barrel will do that. I got the 1 1/8 twist, and I did check the twist also. Whenever I tore the barrel apart, I checked the twist to double, triple, quadruple check that it was a 1 1/8 before I just totally blew this way out of proportion. I'm not trying to blow this out of proportion. I just want y'all to know what I've had problems with Shilen. Now I know that an ER Shaw barrel, that they're pretty much the cheapest kind of replacement barrel you can buy, and I have bought those for 7 mag, 300 mag. I think I bought one in 7mm 08 for a buddy. All of those took minimal load development to get them to shoot, and they were, I mean, we're talking normally within 50 to 100 rounds I have a load that is fully capable of taking out to 1,000 yards. I haven't found that yet with the Shilen barrel, and Shilen has been touted as one of the really good barrels that you can buy. I haven't seen that yet. I'm hoping that there's something wrong with that barrel, whether it be the crown that I didn't see, maybe there's a rifling mark problem on the inside, maybe the chamber's a little wonky, something. I'm hoping they'll get it, figure it out, either replace the barrel and send it back, or fix the barrel if it's fixable, fix my barrel and send it back, and then it shoot bug holes. That's what I'm hoping. So this is just an intro video to tell y'all what's going on, where we're at. If this video is too long, I may go ahead and upload it, and then I'll give y'all an update when it comes back. If not, then I'm pretty sure the next part's going to be a long video too, so it may be like an hour-long series, and we don't need that. So that's where we're at. That's the problems I'm having right now. So this is on the back burner, just holding steady. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for everybody who has subscribed so far. Have a great day.